How are negotiations coming?
Oh, fine, I guess. Though I can't seem to get King Elmar to concentrate on them. He fell asleep.
Well, it is 2 in the morning. The treaty isn't up for 8 months, Mr. Rayford.
It's just that we have a lot of loose ends to tie up before then.
Oh, well, don't worry. Katash Tarshish has enjoyed the protection of the West for 50 years. I don't think that's going to change now.
Thanks for the vote of confidence.
King Elmar never forgets who his friends are.
Put in a good word for me?
Of course.
Good night, Miss Andrea.
I'll take care of Mr. Rayford. You get the king.
And where? Did I not dispatch these scurrious rascals with the greatest of flair?
Oh, yes, Your Majesty. They should never have dared challenge your sword.
You are absolutely correct. Please have the corpses removed. That's this hashish with the wonderful break.
Have you heard anything from him?
Morning, Major.
Well, then call him. I want that security treaty renewed before the Russians start nosing around.
Already at work, sir. Early bird that gets the worm, that's what I always say.
Yes. I'm glad you could make it, Melville. Sit down. Now, last month, I told you, Foreign Services was going to be cutting our budget to the bone.
Yes, sir. And if you'll just take a look at these figures, you'll see that we've already managed to turn things around.
It's not just a question of tightening our belts, Melville.
We've even tightened petty cash. We don't buy muffins for morning coffee anymore.
Muffins?
Nobody gets a pencil until they return their stub.
Greenspan.
Mona delivers the mail every evening on her way home.
They want something for their money, Melville.
We've saved $112, something for their money.
Foreign Services charges ISI with providing intelligence and security for our country.
Oh, yes, sir.
They can't keep pouring money into a department that doesn't give anything back.
Back? Like what?
Like intelligence and security.
We've just managed to keep a low departmental profile, Major.
Your profile is so low, nobody even knows you exist. Foreign Service hasn't had one member of the military, the government, or our allies suggest one good reason to keep miscellaneous affairs around.
Maybe if I write a little.
I've tried explaining the need for your department, but they told me to bite the bullet, Melville. They've left me no choice but to shut you down. I'm sorry. I feel very badly about doing this to all of you. But they've left me no choice. The decision is final.
Morning, Mona. Hi. Why is it so cold down here? Another pipe burst?
No, our friend Mr. Greenspan has put the thermostat on a timer, and the heat does not come on for another hour.
Well, I met your friend Pat upstairs, and she sent down some Nanaimo bars. Oh, Nanaimo bars. They won't heat you up, but they'll get you moving fast.
Oh, great. Now, Yates, how much longer do you think this austerity program is going to go on?
I don't know. He asked me the other day if I knew any way of burning pencil shavings to make heat. And... Good morning, Mr. Greenspan. Nanaimo bar? They're free.
Mr. Greenspan, you okay?
Anything we can do?
Major Clack says Foreign Affairs can't figure out what we do.
Well, they're not the only ones.
And he says we're costing them too much money. They've decided to close us down.
No.
We have until Friday to clear up existing paperwork and pack.
But what? Who's going to do the work we do? Who's going to do all the stuff we get to do? Who's?
And what are we going to do?
Mona's going back to the secretariat pool, and I'll be sent to ICOM.
And what about me? Do I go back in the field? Where are they going to put me?
They're not. As of 1700 hours Friday, you are reclassified as a retired operative.
What?
Major Clack cannot do that.
He said he didn't have a choice, and you'll be given a disability pension.
A what?
Don't make things worse.
It can't get any worse, Melville.
Calm down. He's very, very upset about it, and he told me to send you up to talk to him. He's going to try to make it up to you.
I'm not taking this lying down.
I did the best I could.
I know you did, Mr. Greenspan.
You can't do this to me, Major.
I just did.
I got another 30 years to give ISI. You can't just throw me out in a trash heap.
I'm not. I'm giving you your freedom. They'll never let me put you back into the field, PH. Because with that,
Then use me someplace else.
a desk job? You were trained to make life and death decisions. You'd never lasted an office job.
And what am I supposed to do out there?
You're talented. You'll land on your feet. In the meantime, I got a job for you. Take that to lock up and requisition travel expenses.
What's this?
A European king named Elmer Fudd left something behind at a fencing tournament here. Take it back to him.
Can't you mail it?
I could. But this way you get a free round trip to Europe. And while you're there, look up some of your old friends and see if you can get some freelance security work. You're a good man. It's the least I can do.
Thanks, Major.
I'm not happy with the delay, Comrade Buchanan.
Overthrowing a kingdom is a delicate matter, Miss Andrea.
Katash Tashish is 9 acres square with a population of 12. A Boy Scout troop could conquer it.
Not without bringing the planet to the brink of World War III. Your little country sits on the edge of the Iron Curtain, a buffer between Czechoslovakia and Austria.
I was born here. I do not need a geography lesson.
Well, then, let me give you one in politics. The transference of power from Elmer to you must appear to be peaceful. The West must have no reason for suspicions.
I just want him gone. He's not a king. He's just an overgrown kid with a sword.
Once King Elmer's in my hands, he will soon abdicate and turn the throne over to you.
It should have been mine all along. The country can't wait much longer.
With ISI as Mr. Rayford out of the way, there is no one here to stop us.
Tashish is a small country on the Czech-Austrian border. ISI has been providing security for it under a 50-year lease that expires in 8 months' time.
Why does it have two names?
Well, it's named after the two founding families, you know, like Schleswig-Holstein
Or New York, New York. What else does it say, Mom?
Not much, just that it's ruled by this King Elmar III.
So I guess I fly to Vienna, then take the Orient Express.
King Elmar?
Elmar Katas. He's the one that left this behind. I guess he's a little absent-minded.
You're gonna talk to a king?
Yeah, he must be pretty anxious to get this back.
Okay, now, Viet, you call when you get in, huh?
Do you think that the king might write a little thank you note?
Mr. Greenspan, it's not good etiquette to ask.
Please.
Why?
The major said that if one of our allies, even one, thought we were worth having around, that
You'd keep us around?
maybe. Isn't it worth a try?
Well, I guess anything's worth a try, Melville.
Adderly, I just want you to know that if this doesn't work out, I'll never forget you. You've made my life here very interesting.
Melville, I can honestly say the same thing. Let's just hope that this isn't the last assignment.
Okay.
Excuse me, Major. I wasn't sure how to handle these.
What is it?
Requests from internal and domestic to reroute paperwork to miscellaneous affairs.
They'll have to handle it themselves. I'll get it. Yes? Well, keep trying. I need Rayford to tell me how those negotiations are going. Right. Get back to me as soon as you can. If he's in trouble, we'll need to get somebody over there fast.
You lock yourself out again. I told you, always go around the back if this happens. Andrea always...
V.H. Adderly. Something wrong?
Are you here to see Elmar?
Yeah, I knocked, but...
Well, you can bang on that door all day. He won't answer it. And there's no more servants.
He lives here? Alone?
My daughter looks after him. Garth Tashish. I'm the handyman.
Hi, Garth. Any chance I could see him?
Yeah, sure. When they don't expect much, she's a little, can't get over it. Well, come on in. Andrea won't believe this. We used to get tourists. Not much to look at anymore.
Renovating?
Hmm?
Renovating?
We started, but Elmar lost interest. Andrea! Got a surprise for you!
If you don't mind my saying, this all seems pretty informal.
Well, it's like this. This country was founded by the Katasishes and, that's Elmar's crowd, and the Tashises. And that's us. And the crown goes back and forth between the two.
Anybody else get a turn?
Oh, we're all related. Yeah, this generation was supposed to be our turn, but, you see, the throne only goes to male offspring, and the wife and I only had Andrea, so Elmar took over from his dad.
Daddy?
Hello, darling. Gentleman here to see His Majesty. No, it's not him. Amazing, isn't it? Mr. Adderly, this is my daughter, Andrea.
Pleased to meet you. Cut myself shaving?
Oh, no, it's just... What business do you have with the king?
I've come to return his crown. I'm sure he missed it.
Oh, I doubt it.
Andrea, he may be a bit odd, but he's still the king. He gets to have his way.
Is there any chance I could give it to him personally?
Oh, suit yourself. But I must tell you, King Elmar has very little use for pleasantries of court. Or anyone without a sword in their hands.
Oh.
Lunge, cut, 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 lunge.
Your Majesty, you have a visitor.
One more swash, and another knave is dispatched to eternity.
Excellent work, Your Majesty.
Your Majesty, B.H. Adderly. How extraordinary. I don't believe it. Perhaps there was some distant family relationship? I don't think so. I'm here on behalf of ISI to return your crown. We have another gentleman from ISI here negotiating a treaty. Where is that Boeing, Mr. Wayford?
He left, Your Majesty.
Left?
Remember? I told you he sent his regrets. I'm Nikolai Tukanin, His Majesty's fencing
remember him
instructor
leaving?
from Leningrad.
A Russian?
As are all the best fencers, with the exception of Your Majesty. What is miscellaneous affairs?
Someone who would appreciate a small favor in return for this. Oh, terrific. I love granting favors. Goff, tea, please.
Yes, Your Majesty.
Mr. Tukanin, instructors have no place in affairs of state.
Certainly, Your Majesty. But don't take too long. We must practice. The world has need of your skill with the sword.
A lot of call for sword fighting these days, is there? Mr. Adderly, I am the greatest swordsman in all of Europe. Perhaps you've seen my waiters tournament? Oh, you're the best thing in it. Well, I agree. I realize this might not be the best time to ask for a favor, but you would like a reward. Very well? Take anything you please.
Your Majesty, you can't just squander every...
Well, you're slipping again. I don't want a reward. A simple thank you note would be fine. Really? So be it. Andrea will draw up the appropriate papers.
I'm sorry.
Andrea will draw up the appropriate papers.
Oh, yes, indeed.
Mr. Adderly, do you fence? I haven't for a while. Never had an injury to tell you. It's a sign of weakness. I guess in a country this size, there's a fair amount of inbreeding.
It may be a day or two before we can get him to sit down to sign anything.
I'll wait.
A simple note couldn't be that important.
Afraid it is.
Very well. I'll see the guest room is made ready.
Thanks.
King wanted phones for all his people, but all he could afford was this.
I got pencils. I got bulbs. Tubes, tissues. Paper. No. Oh, that's... Thanks, thank you. Isn't there any peanut butter?
No, sir.
I've got another way of saving money. We're gonna use every other fluorescent tube. That means we won't use half as many.
Mr. Greenspan, fluorescent tubes don't cost very much, and furthermore, they last almost forever.
Every penny counts, Mona. I want you to go back to using carbon. Instead of... It's cheaper than photocopying.
Sir, if I use carbon paper, everything is going to take twice as long.
Debbie, make you some lunch so you won't have to go out. Something simple but hearty.
Like gruel?
Yeah, I'm gonna make this office so cheap to run that Major Clack can't afford to shut us down. He'll lose money.
Miscellaneous affairs.
Hi, Mona. How's your day going?
Hi, VH. Well, better since you called. Listen, I've been trying to get hold of you at the palace all morning.
Yeah, well, it's kind of a party line.
They're getting a little restless.
Ask him if he got the letter.
Mr. Greenspan wants to know if...
Yeah, I heard him. He must be breathing down your neck. Tell him he'll have to wait, but I think we'll get something.
He wants to
Can't wait a while.
Well, tell Melville that the king marches to his own dwummer.
Hey,
king...
we could get by with fewer phones.
Yeah, what's the king like?
Well, he has his own unique approach to life.
Oh, gee. You know, I would love to meet him.
Well, maybe you already have. Listen, Mona, I want you to run a check on an agent named Rayford. He was here in Tatis Tashish.
Just a sec, yeah? Rayford?
Yeah, I want to know why he was sent here.
Okay, what's happening, VH?
I'm not sure yet. Check out a Russian fencing teacher named Tukanin. He speaks very good English and maybe more than just handy with a sword.
Hey, VH, have you, stumbled into some palace intrigue?
I hope not. But our security lease with Tatis Tashish ends soon. The Soviets may be trying to butter him up.
Ooh. Okay, Rayford to Canada. No, if I call you back, can I get you... Is there another number I can get you at?
No. I'll call you back. Can you get on it as soon as possible?
You got it. Bye.
I don't like the idea of another ISI agent snooping around. Do you know him?
I know of him. And ISI does not send operatives to collect compliments. He's here to watch Elmer.
What do we do?
Don't allow the king to be alone with him. And keep them very far apart. After dark, we'll make our move tonight.
What if Adderly interferes?
Then ISI will have two agents that it cannot account for.
Perhaps Your Highness should leave his guest alone and finish dinner.
Ridiculous. Mr. Adderly is extremely interested in my demonstration, aren't you, Mr. Adderly? I'm afraid I might be missing the point. Priceless wit. You see, the whole purpose of fencing is to touch your opponent with the tip of your sword, therefore gaining points. Unless you are pushed to the point of no return and have no choice but to drive your point home. Interesting move, Mr. Adderly. But highly irregular. I like to win any way I can. If you get my point.
Your Highness, I have Mr. Adderley's papers ready to sign.
Great. And he can weave in the morning.
I apologize for his behavior.
Oh, that's okay. It's like having dinner with my boss.
I sometimes wonder if it would be better for the country if he were not king.
Is that a possibility?
He often speaks of leaving the throne. He could go at any time.
Just as long as he doesn't move into my neighborhood.
It's been 36 hours. I think we waited long enough. Activate Rayford's emergency contact alarm. I don't like the look of this. Yes? Well, don't you have somebody who can look after it? No, I can't authorize sending it to miscellaneous affairs. I've got better things to do than... I know you're backed up. Everybody's... Well, why don't you put it where the moon doesn't shine?
Evening. Taking the night air?
No, I was just heading over to the telephone. What are you doing out this late?
It's garbage night. The checks buy all the landfill we can send them.
I get the feeling that Elmar doesn't do very much for you people.
Well, sometimes you get a good king, and sometimes you get Elmar. Luck of the draw.
Andrea was saying that Elmar's thinking of stepping down.
I doubt it. As far as Elmar is concerned, the role of king fits him like a glove.
So would a straitjacket.
Oh. The hell is that?
It's in here.
Who's he? What's that?
It's a contact alarm. All ISI operatives use them. It's for emergency only.
I think he's past caring about any emergency. Do you know who he is?
Well, I think so. Help me get him out of here.
Mr. Greenspan, isn't this going a little far?
I think it's all very cozy. We could rent out Adderly's office, use mine for overflow from other departments. I think it's all going to be fun, all of us working together at the same desk.
It's a nightmare.
Desperate situations call for desperate measures, Mona.
Yes, Mr. Greenspan, how much money do you think we're saving?
60%. We've lopped off our budget. I think Major Clark is going to be very impressed.
Excuse me.
Miscellaneous affairs.
Hi, Mona, it's me.
Oh, VH, am I ever glad you called.
Did you get the file on Rayford?
Did he get the letter in the king?
Sorry, hold on. Excuse me. I'm just hiding. Oh, I'm sorry.
Find out.
Sorry. Yeah, sorry, Adderly. Yes, Rayford, okay. Rayford was sent to Katas Tashish to negotiate the security treaty.
We need that file. We need that letter right away.
What about Tucanon?
Right, now there is a Nikolai Tucanon on the Soviet Army team.
So they are up to something.
Mona, give me that. Adderly, I want you to drop whatever you're doing and get back here right away.
I hope that's not an order, Melville, because I got a dead operative on my hands.
Are you sure?
Well, if he's not, he's got the world record in holding his breath. Did Mona get a description of Rayford? I want to make a positive ID.
Yeah, I have that. Okay, Rayford. Okay, shoot.
Brown hair, green eyes, glasses. 6'7".
Wait a minute. It says 6'1". It can't be him.
Well, he's wearing a contact alarm, Melville, and either way, you've got to tell Major Clack.
Oh, I can't do that. If he gets mad, this could be the end of the department.
Melville? He's already closed down the department. What have you got to lose?
You're right, Adderly. I'll take the file to him.
Good for you, Melville. I'm going to find some place to stash the body and take a look around. I don't know what's happening, but whatever it is, it's important enough to kill for. Bye.
Mr. Greenspan, are you sure you want to do this?
Will you come along?
Yep. Come on.
And we are. What a pleasant surprise.
In the name of the people of Katas Tashish, You are no longer our king.
Manuel, scream for help. It's an insurrection.
Oh, I don't need any help. Bear with me.
Stand back, varlets, or you shall feel cold steel.
Oh, for God's sake. Get him out of here. And tell Toucan I want the decree by morning. I've waited long enough. King Elmore went out early this morning, Mr. Adderly. Perhaps I can help you.
Oh, I just wanted to ask him about his negotiations with Mr. Rayford and whether anyone saw him leave or not.
Oh, I talked to him the night before. He said he wasn't doing well. The next day, he was gone.
And aren't you concerned that the new treaty is left unsigned?
Oh, the world is a different place than it was 50 years ago, Mr. Adderly. I advised Elmore to shop around. Perhaps get a better deal from the competition.
The Russians? Well, please let me know when the king gets back.
Oh, he won't be back. King Elmore has decided the crown weighs too heavily on his head.
Ah, that's what it is.
He's abdicating to go open a fencing school.
It's a little sudden, isn't it?
Oh, he's noted for his snap decisions.
I assume Mr. Toucan went with him.
Yes. Yes, he did.
And when do the people get the news?
I'm going to make the announcement this afternoon. Oh, but that doesn't concern you.
It doesn't?
My father will be here in a few minutes to drive you to the station. Your thank you note. Have a safe journey, and I'm so sorry you're going to miss the coronation.
Well, maybe you could send me one of those little cups.
Mr. Greenspan, do we really have to do this?
It's the perfect solution.
Yeah, but we've already cut our budget by 75%.
But this will be the pièce de résistance. He said he'd review our case on Friday. By then, we'll not only be the leanest department around, we'll be the only department with an income.
By selling scraps of paper to other departments.
That's right. We're the only department that doesn't have to shred. These files are gold. I don't know why I didn't think of it before.
Maybe you didn't think of it before because you weren't quite so desperate. Mr. Greenspan, you know, Major Clark, I mean, maybe he doesn't need all this done for him. I mean, he seemed to be quite happy with Adderly's report on Rayford.
But we need insurance. Now, I'm going to show these around. Now, just empty the rest of these cups. No, sorry.
You just want to go around, sir? Miscellaneous affairs.
Hey, Mona, it's me.
Oh, the thank goodness. Listen, I didn't know what to do. I didn't know what to do. Major Clark wanted me to get a message to you. And...
Can you put me through to him?
No, I can't. After we talked to him last night, you know, we talked to him last night, then he got on his private jet for Vienna.
He's coming here?
Yes. And he wants... See, what he's going to do is he's going to slip into the country in disguise. Right now, he wants you to get hold of the king, to get hold of him, and to make sure that the king is okay, and also... BH, he thinks the Russians are moving in on the country.
So my methods of torture have failed to change your mind, King Elmer.
I will never forfeit my country.
Oh, you will sign the decree. You just need more convincing.
Has he sound?
No, not yet, but he will.
And where? You traitor.
You were the one who betrayed our people, Elmore. And with the help of Comrade Toucan, your miserable reign is now about to end.
At what price?
Oh, all they want is our friendship.
Friendship? And where? Even I'm not that ludicrous. They killed Mr. Rayford.
Where is Mr. Rayford?
We couldn't make him talk.
You killed him? No one was supposed to die. That was not what you said would happen.
You said we would do things my way.
I never agreed to murder.
This game is much bigger than your petty kingdom, Andrea. Caesar.
What is the meaning of this?
Why should we support a puppet queen when we can have the entire kingdom?
What?
Elmer will sign a proclamation, but it will be one declaring Katas Tashish an ally of the Warsaw Pact and a willing satellite of the Soviet Union. You should choose your friends more carefully, Miss Andrea.
All set to go, Mr. Adderly? I'm not going, Garth. I got a bad feeling about this place. You mean about Elmar leaving? Yeah, I can't help but feel it's connected with Rayford's death. Did you figure out what killed him? No, nothing like I've ever seen before. He was 6 inches taller when he was dead than he was alive. The ton of bricks. What? During the Crusades, the Turks captured our King Alfred. They strung him up and attached weights to his feet. A ton of bricks? From then on, he was known as Alfred the Lengthy. Is there still a torture chamber in the castle? In the West Tower. Hasn't been used in years. Let's take a look.
Major, I knew you'd find a new habit to replace smoking.
It's the only disguise I could get at short notice. I came as quickly as I could. This country could be in danger.
Major, it already is.
Why doesn't he give up?
He always was a fool. Now he's a fool with too much courage. All right, King Elmer. You win. Ah, sorry. You're no use to us dead, and it appears we cannot break you, but maybe we should put somebody else in your place.
No.
A king is not a king without subjects, Elmer. We'll start with Andrea and work through your kingdom one by one. We'll break them all if necessary.
No.
Then sign. Ah, so you are a leader after all.
The whole country's here for Andrea's proclamation.
We better get moving.
Adderly, you've got to understand. Andrea would never do anything like this unless she thought it was best for her people.
I know. You've got to stop her from making the worst mistake of her life. Now take us to the tower.
You'll never get away with this. ISI guarantees our security.
They can't interfere with the internal affairs of a nation or change a king's decree.
Mr. Tucanon sent the good sister here to look after Elmar's wounds.
Oh, Father, he was so brave. He only signed the proclamation to save the people.
How is he?
He's out cold.
Major, I've got to stop Tucanon. Tell the people the proclamation is a fake.
Oh, it's no use. They won't believe you. They have to hear from Elmar.
And he's not going anywhere.
Katas Tashish, I bring you greetings from your friends in the Soviet Union.
Hold it, comrade. I don't think they'll listen to you as long as I'm here.
Majesty, here for your final lesson.
Adderly! Have a seat. Oh, please, quack. He's really, really good. Your sword, Your Majesty. Please, keep it as a souvenir, Mr. Adderly. It's time I stopped playing with swords and started walking after my people.
Does this mean we can negotiate the contract?
Well, if we negotiate, Major Quack, I think I should negotiate with miscellaneous affairs. After all, Mr. Adderly and I are certain to see eye to eye.
This is ridiculous. I don't have time for all these petty forms.
Disorganization, the whole thing.
Please. We've just got an okay from Foreign Services to reinstate miscellaneous affairs at its old status as soon as possible.
Morning, Major. Glad you wanted to see me.
Greenspan. You're just in time.
Yes, sir. I have found a way of reactivating miscellaneous affairs at 25% of our previous budget.
Really?
Yes, sir.
Consider it done, Melville. Now maybe things can get back to normal around here.
We're back in business. VH, I don't think there's any way we can possibly offer it at 25%.
Major, isn't there any way that we could be reinstated at our previous budget?
Of Greenspan says he can do it, I don't see any reason to ask for your old budget back.
Well, is this a good enough reason? Sister?